Hello, my name is Tiana, and today we will talk about one of the most important techniques in algebra is solving quadratics. So here you are, the quadratic equation, or standard formula, and A, B, C are coefficients of these equations. A is standing before x squared, B before x, and C is a free coefficient. So, standard formula for the discriminant. And what is the discriminant? Discriminant is combination of the coefficients, such kind which knowing the actual meaning of the discriminant, we can answer the questions how many roots and what kind of will quadratic equation have. So formula for the discriminant is b squared minus 4 multiply a multiply c. A, b, c are coefficients we obtained from the actual formula of the quadratic equation, initial one. So if discriminant is more than 0, we will have two real roots of the other equation. When we have equality to the 0, so we will obtain only one real root. And when our discriminant is less than 0, no real root will have our initial quadratic equation. Standard formula to obtain roots of the quadratic equation using the discriminant will actually include coefficient b, coefficient a, and discriminant, put your attention, square rooting of the discriminant. So the difference first root and second one, the difference will be plus or minus before this square rooting. When we have the situation when discriminant is equal to 0, square rooting of 0 will give us 0. So here, actually, we will have only one real root. So the situation is actually right here. So the left side of our equation represents parabola on the coordinates plane. So, and knowing coefficients and knowing discriminant, actually we can imagine how our parabola will look like. When our coefficient a, which is standing before x squared, more than 0, actually we have the situation of upwards parabola. So this one. When our coefficient a is less than 0, the situation downwards. This is called vertex, and we will discuss it on the next lecture. So, when our discriminant more than 0, we will have two intersections with the x-axis. So this will be second root, this will be first root. When we have discriminant less than 0, we will have the situation no intersections of our parabola with x-axis. So similar like this. And when our discriminant is equal to 0, our vertex of the parabola will actually touch the x-axis. In the situation of the upwards, it will be right here. In the situation of the downwards, we will have our vertex right here. Thank you. So let's solve the example of quadratic equation solving. So example will be x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Our coefficients, a is equal 1, that's why we have nothing before x squared. B is equal minus 5, be careful, we will take with the sign, our coefficients must go with the sign, and C is equal 6. Our discriminant will be minus 5 squared minus 4 multiply 1 multiply 6, so we will obtain finally 1. Square rooting of 1 will be 1 the same. So our discriminant more than 0, we must obtain two real roots of our quadratic equation. First off will go with plus before square rooting of the discriminant. Second one will be with minus. So the difference between two roots will be in this sign before square rooting of the discriminant. So first root we will obtain following the formula which was given upper, minus minus 5, I'll put your attention that this minus from the formula, this minus from the coefficient. So plus square root in 1 divided by 2 multiply 1. 1 is coefficient A. So consequently, we obtain 3 as our first root of the equation. So the second one will be the same, but with the minus before square rooting of the discriminant, and we obtain 2. So our discriminant more than 0, we obtain 2 real numbers, and what is about it in the coordinate place. So 2 real roots will give us 2 intersections with x equation. Coefficient A more than 0 is equal to 1. So we have upward situation. Our vertex is lower than x axis.